Hi guys. So I'm finally here to do a health update in terms of my lupus and stuff. I know I've mentioned like little things here and there in some of my doll changing videos, but I haven't done like a designated like lupus health update video in I don't know how long. So there's not a ton because things have been relatively good. So there's not a ton to update you on, but I will give you the rundown. So I'm going to start back in 2019. So when I lost my job taking care of Maggie and Annie, if you guys remember, I worked at Alex's work for, I think it was like a month and a half or 2 months or something like that. And that was just to cover his coworker who was having surgery. So it was just a short-term thing. And while I was there, my right knee started to flare up really bad. And I think it was due to sitting at the computer like all day. It was an office job. I think that was part of it. So it was swelling up really bad. It was, with the swelling, it was tight. It was hard to bend. It was painful. So eventually, my rheumatologist drained it in the office. I couldn't believe how much fluid they drained out of my knee. And then they gave me a cortisone shot. And it kind of didn't really help. In a few days, it was actually worse. And so I was in touch with my doctor and they said, just for now, we can't get you in. So just go to your local ER and ask them to drain it again. And this time, have them send what they drain to the lab to be tested and then have the results forwarded to my rheumatologist. So that's what we did. And again, they drained a large amount of fluid. It was crazy. Like, I didn't watch it because I just get squeamish with needles and stuff. But Alex said that he saw like how much the guy took and like he couldn't believe it. So after that, my doctor decided to refer me for physiotherapy. And for whatever reason, they couldn't find any places locally to me that were covered by our OHIP. Like here in Ontario, Canada, we have free healthcare. You just have like a health card that you show and you don't have to pay anything. So basically, they found that the Arthritis Foundation, they had physiotherapy that they could offer. So I was referred for that. And unfortunately, they couldn't get me in until the fall, like October 2019. In the meantime, they also referred me to get an MRI of my knee, which again took a while to get in for that. My doctor did feel that the knee wasn't lupus related just because all my blood work was coming back looking pretty stable, and it wasn't showing any inflammation. It wasn't showing any lupus markers. And so he was saying it actually looked like my lupus was quiet and was not really active. And so they really didn't feel like the knee was lupus related. They felt it might be structural, like there might be something else going on there, which is why they sent me for the MRI. And also during that time, the only thing with my blood work that was still kind of off is they had noticed that there was this pattern of my red blood cells being, I think it was, they were high or low. No, they were high. They were always on the high side for like quite a few blood works in a row. And so they decided to refer me to a, what was it called? A hematologist, I think the specialist was called. Just so that they could double check to make sure that I didn't have, like that lupus wasn't attacking my blood in some way. Even though like there wasn't any sign of lupus on my blood work, sometimes it doesn't always show. So they just wanted to make sure there was nothing going on there, because sometimes lupus can cause, I forget what the name of it is now, but there's this blood disorder that it can cause sometimes. So they sent me for that, and I was lucky to be able to get in really quick with that. And so the doctor sent me for a whole whack load of blood work before I saw him. And when I saw him, he was like, everything looks fine. He's like, there's nothing to be concerned about. No worries. He's like, everything looked normal to me. So that was good. That was a relief that there wasn't anything wrong there. So then I went for my first, well, let me back up. So September, I saw my cardiologist and we were discussing my medications, because I'm on 2 heart medications. I'm on Sotalol and I'm on Verapamil. And it's weird because when I was first diagnosed with my heart condition back in 2002, I was initially started on metoprolol, and I was on that for about 2 years. I was on metoprolol, just that, nothing else. And I was doing fairly well. Like, I thought, I felt pretty good. I wasn't feeling my heart racing all the time. I felt good. I have extra heartbeats, and I wasn't feeling them, and I felt fine. But then my cardiologist at that time had recommended trying to do an ablation, because he's like, if it works and it gets rid of the heart problem, then you don't have to take any more medication for it. And I was like, well, let's try it. And we tried it, and it wasn't successful. And then right after that, they started me on Verapamil along with the metoprolol. And then years down the road, and I don't remember what the reasoning was, but then I was changed from metoprolol to Sotalol. I don't remember why, but that's basically what I've been on for many years now. And because of that, my blood pressure is always on the low side. And sometimes when I go to the doctor for my checkup, they're like, are you feeling okay? Are you feeling lightheaded at all? Because they're like, your blood pressure is really low. And I'm like, I feel okay. Like, there have been times where I've had dizzy spells and stuff, but most of the time I feel okay. And so they're like, well, maybe you should talk to your cardiologist and see if like maybe there's a way to get rid of one of the medications. Like maybe you're on too much and it's like lowering your blood pressure too much. So we talked about it with the cardiologist, and he was like, well, why don't we try weaning off Verapamil? So he gave me a weaning schedule. And I think by November, I was completely off Verapamil. And during that time, so from October, I think it was October through December was when I was doing a nanny job. And at that time I was doing a lot of walking every day. And as I started to wean off, and then once I was completely off, I was really starting to notice the extra heartbeats again. And when I was out walking, I was getting really out of breath. Now, I mean, I've been dealing with shortness of breath for years due to my lung problems, but my lung problems had actually been stabilizing that year. Like in 2019, things were starting to look good with my breathing tests. And while I still got short of breath, it wasn't as bad. And now all of a sudden it was getting worse again. And so I was like, maybe it's because I stopped the Verapamil. So I really tried going. And I think it was basically by the end of December that I decided to start taking the verapamil again. So I've still been back on that since then. In October, I saw the physiotherapist, and really nice lady, and basically she did a lot of assessments on me, like having me do different things and seeing like how I walk and see how like my body moves in certain ways. And basically she came to the conclusion that what might be contributing to my knee problems, part of it anyway, but at that point I hadn't had the MRI, so she couldn't be 100% sure because she wanted to see the MRI as well before giving me actual exercises for the knee. But in the meantime, she said that my core was not strong at all. It was very weak. And so she gave me core strengthening exercises to do at home, physiotherapy exercises. Sorry, I thought I saw a fly go by. Anyways, so she gave me those exercises and I was doing those, and those were really good, and I've been doing those since then. I did kind of get away from doing them halfway through 2020. I'm starting to get back into doing them again now. So then I had my MRI, and so I was to see her in January 2020, and then basically I never got a call with the appointment. And so then I waited a bit and I didn't hear anything in February, and then all of a sudden March came around and it was COVID and everything was shutting down, and so I was like, great. So anyways, I finally emailed her, I think maybe a week into the lockdown, and just said, hey, like, I haven't heard from you, blah, blah, blah. And she apologized. And so anyways, we set up a video appointment, which was kind of weird because for me, like when I'm being shown physio exercises, I like to do it in person because I feel like, you know, they can see more of what I'm doing and tell me if I'm doing anything wrong, and they can physically like come and move my joint in the way that I'm supposed to so that I know I'm doing it right. So I hope that I'm doing things right. But anyway, so she gave me some exercises to try, and it was quite interesting trying to like set up, because we don't have a webcam. We just have, we just have our iPad for like the web chat or whatever it was that she sent me. So anyways, we did that. She gave me these exercises. She says, do them for a couple of weeks and we'll set another appointment and we'll check back in. And so she wanted to see me do the exercises again in my next appointment to make sure I was doing them correctly. And from her end, she thought I was doing them correctly. So she said, has it been helping? And then actually it had been helping my knee a lot. So she said, keep it up. She says, I don't think I need to see you again unless something else comes up and you need other exercises. Then you can contact again. Otherwise, it's good. And I had emailed her the MRI results as well. So she had those. So basically, like, for about half of 2020, I was doing those physio exercises, and then, I don't know, like, I feel like with the whole pandemic, like, I just was not motivated at all, like, to do anything in 2020. Like, I really accomplished nothing. And, I mean, I feel bad now. Like, I kind of regret it now because I had, like, all this time on my hands at home to, like, get stuff done. And I mean, I did get some things done, but overall, like, I really didn't do much. I just wasn't motivated. I was feeling like depressed and stuff, so whatever. Anyways, I'm sure a lot of other people out there can relate. So then I did another breathing test in 2020, and it came back looking really good. My doctor called me on the phone and she's like, or no, actually, I didn't get a call from the doctor at that time. I did my breathing test and then found out that my doctor was on mat leave and I wouldn't be able to talk to her until like 2021. So I don't really understand why I did the test to begin with, but I did the test and so I didn't find out the results of that till 2021. And basically the results were normal. And then I did another test as well in 2021 and they were also good. So my doctor was just like, just keep taking the inhalers that you're on and, just keep on with that. Things are looking good. So that was that, with my breathing. And so, as for 2020, I felt pretty darn good health-wise in 2020. I mean, I still dealt with the fatigue and the sleep problems that have been ongoing for years. I would have some occasional joint pain, but nothing major. And like, I could just pop like a Tylenol or some Aleve or something and it would help. And that was it. I did like, as I've been, ever since Fitbit app added like a period tracking portion on the app, and I've been tracking my periods and symptoms that I get with my periods. I've come to notice a pattern that either like a day or two before I start my period, I get like massive headaches and the jaw pain and all that. And then those headaches and jaw pain usually it can last either the entire length of my period or like a couple of days into it and then it goes away. So I just finished dealing with that, and today is like the first day in like a week that I haven't had like a massive headache, and I haven't had to pop Tylenol, so knock on wood, that's good. Anyways, I'll get into more about the jaw pain though after. So I felt, like I said, I felt good overall in 2020. I kind of attribute it to the fact that I was home a lot. I was working less hours, and probably doing the physio as well, like whenever I did do it, like it was helping. But as I said, the fatigue is just something that's a constant struggle, and I know that my sleep was like probably not helping because like I wasn't sleeping well. And then also like with the whole like pandemic thing and not having like a routine and just being home like every day for like 2 months, like I started being I've always been a night owl, and like I just know like my sleep schedule was like all messed up and everything, which doesn't help. So anyways, again, my lupus blood work was stable in 2020, looking good. Everything was fine. Then my jaw pain started to creep back up towards the end of December, and not just around the time of my period, but it would also happen sometimes in between. And if you guys don't remember, years ago, I don't even know what year it was. It was probably like somewhere around 2014 maybe, that I was having really bad ear pain at night. And I was also having issues with my vocal cords, and I still have to deal with this issue, where like my voice was getting really hoarse and raspy, and my singing voice wasn't as good anymore. And like even talking was like causing throat pain and just like all this stuff. So I was referred to an ears, nose, and throat specialist at that time. He found absolutely nothing wrong with my ears at that point. There was no ear infection. They checked my hearing and it was fine. He didn't see anything wrong with the ears. They did discover that I had vocal cord tension, which is also called vocal dysphonia. And Brian from the Backstreet Boys and Shania Twain, they deal with that and have dealt with that. Brian's singing voice comes and goes, although I think with some therapy and stuff, like, he's done better lately. But that was really, like, depressing to find out. So basically what the ears, nose, and throat specialist said was that he suggested either vocal lessons or speech therapy for the vocal issue. And then he thought maybe the ear pain could be related to something wrong with my jaw. So then I was referred to a maxillofacial or maxillofacial, I don't know how you say it, surgeon to look at my jaw. So at that time, I did go the speech therapy route. I did some sessions of speech therapy, and that's when they also confirmed that it was definitely dysphonia. And they said that they guess it's like a bunch of things that caused the dysphonia. A combination of steroids I was on. Like, I know my steroid inhaler doesn't help this situation. So steroids I was on, also weak breathing muscles and tension in the vocal cords, which could be caused from stress, and also like probably overusing my voice, because at that time I was working in daycare. I think I was in daycare at that time. I was working in daycare. Or was I? Geez, I don't remember. Oh, yeah, maybe it was. Okay, so then that was probably around 2012 that all of this went down, not 2014. Like, we're talking like probably 2012. Because I was working in the daycare at that point. So anyways, I did some vocal exercises with them and like speech therapy and stuff like that. And it helped a little bit, but I don't know, like, maybe I should still keep doing the exercises at home to see if that helps, but I don't know that it really helped that much. So anyways, there's that. And then for a while, like, I was just checking in with the surgeon because they did x-rays and they found that I had arthritis in my jaw joints. And at that time, they couldn't tell if it was still active or not. So they wanted to follow me over a certain time to see what happened. So anyways, over the course of a couple of years, after different x-rays and MRIs and stuff, they came to the conclusion that the arthritis was inactive and that I had probably had this arthritis for years. It went undetected and it caused damage to my jaw joints. And this is probably why when I was a kid, my bite was off. Like, my lower jaw was growing backwards. And so I had jaw surgery when I was in the summer between grade 9 and grade 10. I had jaw surgery to correct my bite, and I had braces and all that stuff. And basically, had they figured out prior to that surgery that I had arthritis that was still ongoing, then they probably shouldn't have done the surgery, because the surgery ended up being pointless because the arthritis was still going on. And so over the years, my bite has gone back. My lower jaw has gone backward again. My bite is completely off. And the arthritis has caused damage to my joints. And so at this point, the doctor had said it's about managing the pain with periodically doing a soft diet and not trying to have like a lot of crunchy stuff, as well as like over-the-counter pain medication. But then if it got to a point where those weren't helping anymore, then it was either do the jaw surgery again. But if I did the jaw surgery again, I would need artificial jaw joints, or do these like cortisone injections into the joints. So I chose cortisone injections, and I had my first ones done in the summer of 2015, and then I had them 3 years later in February 2018. So this past February was another 3 years after I've had the injections. So it kind of makes sense that my jaw is starting to bother me more again, because it lasted 3 years the last time. So it appears it lasts 3 years for me, which is pretty good, because my doctor told me that some people need them like every 9 months, whereas I seem to be able to go 3 years. So the problem though is that I obviously need them again, and that's something that you have to be put under for, and they're not doing elective surgeries. They're only doing like life and death kind of surgeries right now because of COVID. So I know that, like, and I tried calling my doctor and I left a message and no one's called me back, and it's been like a month. So I figured they're not doing it, and so I just have to like suffer through this for now, which kind of sucks. So basically that's where I am. And so since about February, I've been dealing with ear pain again. And so I had the ear pain as well back in around February, March of 2019. And at that time, the doctor found that I had a lot of fluid behind my ear, like in the ear, like behind the ear drum, I guess it is. And so I was told to just like keep popping my ears, like do this maneuver where you plug your nose and pop your ears. And I was given like a steroid nasal spray, which really irritated my throat. So I didn't do it for too long. I didn't take it for very long. But it eventually went away. And so, but then it seems to come up every spring and every fall where I get this ear pain and like my ears itch and like all this stuff. So I started thinking like, oh, maybe I have like seasonal allergies or something. So this year I've decided to, like, I started to try taking some allergy medication. It's helped a little bit, but I've been having a lot of trouble sleeping at night, because when I like to sleep on my side, and when I sleep on my side, like my ear starts to hurt and like feels plugged up and all this stuff. And it's been frustrating with that. But basically that's where I am. Just wanting to get those injections for the pain, because I don't know if it's allergies causing the ear pain or if it's my jaw that's causing the ear pain. So I've been doing a soft diet like the last 2 weeks. I went and got like a bunch of those fruit and veggie mix baby food pouches, so that I'm not like eating crunchy vegetables and fruits. And I got some like Ensure and stuff like that. So that seems to have helped a little bit. Just trying not to eat a lot of crunchy stuff. And just basically like alternating between like Tylenol and ibuprofen. I still get like the occasional joint pain, but my rheumatologist doesn't think it's lupus related. He thinks it might be just more age related, like a little bit of arthritis. But he's like, if it doesn't, get worse or continue for like days on end, then he's not concerned. And usually it kind of goes away if I like do some like, hand exercises or wrists or, like just movement, helps it, as well as like naproxen or something like that. So, but it's not like really, really bad. It's not something I can't like live with. And I don't know, it's been pretty good. Again, my lupus, labs have all been perfect. They've all been great. Lupus is quiet, which is exactly what I wanted to hear again. And so since then, I've been trying to work on my sleep. So this year I'm focusing on my sleep, and I've been trying to go to bed earlier. Originally I was aiming to get to bed by midnight every night, because for me that's early. it seems to be more like 12:30 lately, and that's okay. Like, it's way better than before, and I'm noticing the difference. I know the fatigue will probably never fully go away. It's just part of lupus, but I have noticed some difference, at least on the nights that I can actually sleep. But lately with the ear pain, I've been needing to do a sleeping pill to sleep, because if I don't take the sleeping pill, I'm tossing and turning all night because of the ear pain. So I just basically need to be knocked out. And it sucks because you get that like kind of groggy like feeling in the morning, which I hate. But overall, I feel better because I've slept more. Um, as for my back pain that I had been dealing with, that's pretty much gone now. But my doctor told me that if it comes back, or if I want to prevent it from coming back, to do some sit-ups. I also found some physio exercises online for back pain, and those have helped. And I also bought myself a back brace, so like if I'm sitting at the computer for a long time, I'll wear it just to try to prevent the back pain from coming back. So yeah, basically like my sleep has definitely improved. My Fitbit used to tell me like my average was like 5 hours of sleep. Then I got it up to like 6 hours. And then last week, my average was like 7.5 hours. So, and there was there was a couple of days last week where I got 8.5 hours and 9 hours of sleep. So that's a big improvement. Now my goal is to try to like get it up to, preferably I'd like to start going to bed by 11:30 and be up at 7:30 in the morning, so that I actually have like the full day to do something. But what I've been struggling with is actually like getting up after being in bed 8 hours. I find that I actually think I need 9 hours to get 8 hours of sleep. So that's where I'm gonna like, I'm just seeing, like I'm kind of tweaking it as I go, but it's definitely a step in the right direction. So I'm happy with that. And then I've also been trying to exercise more. Like this week, the weather's been crappy with rain and stuff, but before that, we were having a lot of beautiful days. And so I was going walking almost every day. And I really want to get our Wii Fit connected back up. Excuse me. I'd like to start doing some Wii Fit, because for me, like, I haven't exercised in so long. I need to start small. I tried to go too much the first week and I paid for it. I tried to do some of these like heavier exercises, more intense exercises, and I shouldn't have done that. I need to start small and then like gradually build up, because whoa, I was in bed for a few days because the joint pain was like tremendous, and I was like, oh no, like I don't want to send myself into a flare. So I have to be careful. Basically, you know, light exercise is more recommended for lupus than like hardcore workouts, but I'm going to try to build up, but at least like I was going for a good 40-minute to an hour walk almost daily before all this crap weather hit. And my thought is, I think like on the days where it's crappy like this, I should probably pull out my lupus. I have an actual lupus exercise DVD. So it's got like low impact exercises for lupus, and it's about a 20-minute exercise DVD. So I'm thinking I should probably use that when I can't get out for a walk, or the Wii Fit, like, which I really want to get that connected back up over the next couple of days. So, and then on top of that, I've been really trying to eat healthier. I've been trying to eat a lot more fruits and vegetables, because I know my diet was lacking in those, and I've actually been really enjoying it. Like, I absolutely love salads and could eat salads like all freaking day. But the problem with salads is there's crunchy stuff and then the jaw pain comes. And like the other thing I love is like baby carrots with hummus. But again, they're crunchy. So then I get the jaw pain. So it's kind of like trying to find that balance. So at least some, like at least the little baby food packets that I got, they're like a blend of like fruit and vegetables. So like some have like carrots and apples and like quinoa and like, so it was healthy stuff. But yeah, so that's kind of like where I am. Things are pretty stable. Things are pretty good, which I'm happy about. And it's meant that there's some things I've been considering and wanting to plan for. And that's going to be a whole other video because this one went on way longer than I expected it to. But I am just hoping that everything goes as planned. And I hope that my lupus stays stable so that this could be a possibility. And me working on my sleep, my exercise, and eating healthier is a part of this other huge goal that I will get into in another video when I'm ready to talk about it. I don't know if I'm quite ready to talk about it yet because we don't fully know what's happening, but once I know what's going on and if I'm ready to talk about it on video, I will. Then stay tuned for that at some point. But yeah, that's pretty much it right now, guys. So that's my health update, and we'll see you next time. Bye, guys.